What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Miss Main Event. I am Tasha, and today we're going to be talking about Unrivaled. So, if you are ready to get into what the Unrivaled numbers mean on paper, then let's go. So, when I say Unrivaled by the numbers, I put together a total competitive index for the Unrivaled Basketball League, and it's basically my way of breaking down which team is built to be the hardest to beat when the season tips off. Now, if you're not a stats person, don't panic. We're going to break this down the way I try to break down everything else. No filters, no gatekeeping, and with the understanding that numbers can tell you part of the story, but they can't predict the future. All right. So now, okay, so what we are looking at here is the total competitive index. That is a composite score that blends a team's offensive capability with their defensive capability. So think of it like this. If your team can score points and stop the other team from scoring, you're probably going to win games, right? I know it's a revolutionary concept, but hey, that is basically what this chart is determining. Each team is going to get an offensive index score and a defensive index score. Those two numbers get combined into one overall TCI ranking. The higher the number, the more competitive that team is built to be right now. And as you can see right now, based on roster construction and what these players have shown us on the court, the Mist is sitting at number one with a TCI of 31.325. That's not a typo, y'all. That's a whole 1.623 points ahead of the second place Lunar Owls. All right, so let me walk you through these columns so you'll know exactly what these teams are supposedly built to do. So we're looking at the TCI. TCI is your main number. It's the combination of everything else, and higher is better. Now, the total offensive index is the CUS. That tells you whether a team is built to put points on the board. The Mist leads here with 17.893. That makes sense because they got Breanna Stewart, one of the most consistent scorers and playmakers in women's basketball. She scores, she facilitates, she doesn't beat herself. Now, the total defensive index is DUS. That's the flip side. Can they shut down an offense? The Mist is second in defense at 13.432, but they're top in overall competitiveness because of the offensive dominance. Here's the thing, though. These are measurements based on player efficiency ratings, what these athletes have shown us on the court, and how good each player has been at their specific roles. So, in essence, these numbers aren't magic. These numbers are based on analysis, data, based on their performance. So now when we look over at the key roster anchor column, that column tells you who I think is most important to that team's ranking and what they bring to the table. And this is where things get interesting. This is what we like. The Mist has Breanna Stewart listed as their dual anchor for offense and defense. She's a primary scorer. She's a primary defender. That's your franchise player right there. She's the one who's got to show up every single night for this top ranking to actually mean something. Now, the Lunar Owls are ranked number 2. And of course, they have Nafisa Collier as their offensive anchor. Now, Nafisa is a bucket getter with range. She can also defend. But the fact that they're relying on one player as their primary offensive engine is worth noting. Also, Nafisa, as great a defender as she is prone to foul. She can sometimes get in foul trouble, which would be a penalty for their defensive rating. So while she elevates their offensive rating, the fact that she is not afraid to collect some fouls will bring down that defensive ranking. Now, the Phantom at number 3 lists both Aaliyah Boston for defense and Kelsey Plum for offense. This is a new look Phantom team, and this is very interesting because it suggests their offensive and defensive identities are split. That could be a strength or it could be a weakness. If one of those players has an off night, there goes your rating, right? The Hive has Ezzy Magbagor and Kelsey Mitchell. Magbagor is defense, Mitchell is offense. Same split as the Phantom, but different players playing different styles. Now you're starting to see the pattern. Teams that have one or two players who can carry both sides of the floor tend to rank higher. Teams that are more spread out, they're a little lower. And that's because consistency is easier to measure when it's concentrated. So the fact that we can rely on Breanna Stewart for both offense and defense means that one consistent player is less of a chance to have an overall bad game than two different players. Because, for instance, Kelsey Mitchell and Ezzy Magbagor. If Ezzy Magbagor has an off night on defense, so goes the Hive. If Kelsey Mitchell has an off night on offense, the Hive might be going in that direction as well. Those are your two powerhouses. But I'm telling you, I feel really, really special about the Hive. More on that in a bit. All right, here's why this matters. These rankings tell us what the regular season is probably going to look like based on what we know right now. The Mist with Breanna Stewart, with their balanced offense and defense, a healthy Breanna Stewart, they're built to win a lot of games. The Breeze is ranked last, and it's going to have a harder time keeping up over a full season. But this is predictive. It's saying, hey, based on what these players have done in the past, here's what I think is most likely to happen. And honestly, the analysis is probably not wrong about the regular season. A team with better players usually beats a team with worse players. That's not that complicated. The Mist could absolutely steamroll. They could run through the entire season and win a championship without breaking a sweat, assuming everybody stays healthy and everybody shows up ready to work. Because they've got the pieces, right? They've got Breanna Stewart. They got it all. There are limitations, though. Here's what these numbers don't account for. And this is the part where a lot of hope comes in, right? Because they don't account for momentum. They don't account for a player finding their rhythm right at the exact moment that matters most. They don't account for chemistry that builds throughout a season. They don't account for injuries, mental health, personal circumstances, or somebody just deciding this is the moment, I'm going all the way in. It doesn't account for that. The TCI is a snapshot. It's a here's where everybody stands right now photograph. But basketball ain't a photograph. It's a movie. The Breeze is ranked 8th, dead last, even though there's a lot of parity in the league. But Paige Beckers is on that team. Cameron Brink is on that team. Paige is healthy and locked in. If Cameron, the rim protector and secondary scorer that we know she's capable of being, if the Breeze's offense gets tight and their defense gets mean, they can absolutely beat the Mist in a one and done series for the playoffs. And the same thing can be said about the Rose or the Laces or any other team in the middle. A team that peaks at the right moment is a team that builds something over the course of a season. Trust, understanding, knowing exactly what everybody's job is and trusting that they're going to do it. The TCI can't measure that because it's built on individual player history, not on collective identity. It's numbers. So the Mist is ranked number 1 because Breanna Stewart is one of the best two-way players in women's basketball, period. She's going to score. She's going to defend. She's going to make her teammates better. That is a wonderful foundation, and that's why the number 1 ranking makes sense. But here's another thing. Championship teams aren't built on one player, no matter how good they are. They're built on role clarity and execution. And when the playoffs come, when it's 3-on-3 unrivaled format, when one bad quarter can end your season, suddenly you need more than just one star. You need your role players to understand their role. You need the team to be able to play multiple ways depending on what their opponent is doing. The Mist offensive index is very strong because they've got multiple scorers and defenders as well. Breanna Stewart, but also other players who can step up. Their defensive index is solid because they've got length, they've got athleticism. But if anybody on that Mist team gets tired or gets frustrated or has a shooting night where nothing's falling, suddenly the gap between number 1 and number 3 gets a whole lot smaller. This league right now has a lot of parity. Anybody can win. We saw it last year when the Rose took on the Giants and won and was not expected to. When you had the Lunar Owls go an entire unrivaled season and lose one game until the playoffs, because playoffs are one and done. You win or you take your ass home. And a lot of teams went home that should have, if we were just going by what was on paper, that should have won the championship. That's when all these other teams, the Phantom, the Lunar Owls, even the Breeze, can absolutely knock off the Mist, because in a shorter format, you playing hard. The gap between the best team and a well-constructed team with good chemistry isn't as wide as this TCI might suggest. So the bottom line is this. These rankings are useful. They're telling us something true about who's built well and who is not built the best, but they are not destiny. They are probability. And in sports, especially women's sports, where we know that players are going to show up for each other, where we know that the underdog story is not just possible, but historical, these rankings are more like the opening chapter than the ending. The Mist start the season as favorites on paper. That's real. But the season itself is what matters. And if a team gels, if they peak at the right time, if they come into the playoffs ready to go the distance together, then yeah, they can beat anybody. That's the hope. That's also the truth. So now let's get into my personal truth. Do I think the Mist is going to end up winning the Unrivaled Championship this year? And there's a high likelihood, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that they are going to get got. And they're going to get got by a team that peaks again at the right time. And that team, to me, is the Hive. Told you more on them later. Did you think I forgot? I think the Hive has what it takes to come into this situation as an expansion team, but an expansion team that has the pieces to win now. You have Kelsey Mitchell, Ezzy Magbagor. I am very high on Sanaya Rivers. I think that this is going to translate for her. This 3-on-3 format with all that spacing is going to take the chains off of her. She's going to be able to get in her bag a little bit more. I think that she is going to be the big difference maker on the Hive team, because we know what Kelsey Mitchell is capable of on offense. We know what Ezzy Magbagor is capable of on defense. We know what Sonia Citron is capable of, right? We know what all of these players bring to the table, but I don't think people are accounting for an unleashed Sanaya Rivers. I really think that she is going to show us something different on both sides of the ball, not just offensively. I also think that Sanaya Rivers is a very underrated defensive player. Some people may say underrated where, Tasha? She did not make the all-rookie team and she didn't make the all-defense team. I think she's underrated. She should have been in both places, if you ask me. And I think that she is going to be an X factor for the Hive. And as long as they build their chemistry and they come together at just the right moment, they can be just like the Rose were last year and come out of nowhere and surprise everyone and win a championship. So you tell me who you got, because I didn't already put it on the table, right? I think it could come down to it's either going to be the Mist or the Hive. But if I'm just going off of vibes and my gut feeling, then I'm going with the Hive. If I'm going by the TCI index, then I think I would go with the Mist. The difference between last year's Mist and this year's Mist is monumental, because we have a healthy Breanna Stewart and you've got Nafisa Collier on the second ranked team, who is coming off of an injury that ended her WNBA season. Of course, she still has Skylar Diggins and Aaliyah Edwards is joining them, but they lost Alicia Gray. You got Marina Mabry, but this is us building chemistry all over again. And again, sometimes what you do on defense is going to matter as far as defensive rebounds and the such. Those things create offense, and losing some of the players that you have lost, it could turn into a situation where you needed those players, you needed those points, you needed those rebounds. For instance, like the Rose. The Rose pick up Shakira Austin. They lose Angel Reese, right? So Angel Reese is not playing this season, but they got Shakira Austin in her stead. Now, where Shakira brings a little more certainty is she ain't gonna get into the same foul trouble that Angel would get into. Angel didn't really want to leave fouls on the floor. She would basically, if I got 4 fouls, I'm using them. And sometimes that is something that your performance can overcome, because if you're sending people to the free throw line, something about your performance has to counteract that. And what about Angel's performance was her ability to get those rebounds. She led Unrivaled League in rebounds, and she averaged a double-double. Those are things that you cannot take away. And you can't underestimate how many of Angel's rebounds started a fast break, or how many of Angel's rebounds converted into points on the offensive end. So if Shakira can average a double-double, if she can give you maybe 9 or 10 rebounds a game, then you're not losing as much, because she ain't gonna foul as much as Angel. She's not gonna foul as much as Angel did. But and she might even give you, let me look at this now. I think I had her stats where she might even give you, okay, so me looking at another chart that I've made, and I guess I'll put it up on the screen. I'm not doing that, but I'll put it up on the screen. Angel averaged 0.86, right about that, points per minute. Shakira averaged 0.91 points per minute. This is last year's Unrivaled numbers. This is not WNBA. This is last year's Unrivaled numbers, right? Rebounds per minute. Angel averaged 0.78, and Shakira is only giving you 0.42. That's rebounds per minute. Personal fouls, though. Angel was giving you 3.9 personal fouls. Shakira Austin was giving you 2.6. So that is a huge difference in fouls, right? The assist to turnover ratio, ball security, Angel 0.79, Shakira 0.43. So assist to turnover ratio is lower for Shakira as well. Steals per game, Angel was giving you 0.7, Shakira is giving you 0.4. Blocks per game is even at 0.6. And yeah, you're getting a lot. You're getting some better metrics on paper from Shakira, but Angel is a big loss. Now, it's nobody's fault, because she made a personal choice, not to play this year. But it's hard to replace an Angel Reese when you look at those numbers and you think about, in a fast-paced game of 3-on-3, what that disparity in rebounds and assist to turnover could mean. And it could mean a lot. And that is the only reason that I did not pick the Rose to come back and do it again. I didn't pick them to do it again because I don't think people are understanding how big an L it is to not have an Angel Reese, even when you do have a Shakira Austin, because she's nothing to sneeze at. She's nothing to sneeze at. Hopefully I'm wrong, or these numbers are wrong. The numbers are right, but hopefully they don't translate into poor performance by the Rose, because all of these games, the most that they are going to end up or the least amount of disparity they can end up with is whoever makes 11 points in the fourth quarter, right? So these games can end up being extremely tight. I mean, a team could get blown out. We've seen some blowouts in Unrivaled, but I think we're going to see a higher number of close games. And I think that these little things on both ends of the court could be the difference between playing in the semifinals or the finals and going fishing. So anyway, y'all tell me what you think. Who are you picking to take it all in the in Unrivaled season 2? And yeah, I will join you guys here for coverage next week. Was it next week? It's January 5th. My birthday is January 2nd, y'all. Hey, so right after my birthday, we will get Unrivaled, and I am going to be extremely happy to break down what I see in the first games and how it goes as far as what these numbers predict. I'm paying very close attention. Guys, let me know what you guys think. Follow me on social media at Miss Main Event Pod everywhere, including Substack. You can also buy me a coffee. I'm going to put a link down in the description that tells you how you can support the channel. Buy me a coffee if you'd like more analysis like this. I would appreciate it. And anywho, I don't have anything else, y'all. I'll see you guys in the next one.